my name is Mackenzie. Welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for being here. Today we are going to be doing another kind of like reading vlog, like where I read the source material and then I also read the rewrite. Anyhoozle, let's get started with what I'm actually doing. So first I have And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, which is like the end-all be-all original story of the isolated close circle mystery. In this one we have 10 strangers who are lured to an isolated island mansion off the Devon coast by a mysterious UN Owen. At dinner, a recorded message accuses each of them in turn of having a guilty secret, and by the end of the night one of the guests is dead, haunted by a nursery rhyme counting down one by one as one by one they begin to die. And then we have One by One by Ruth Ware, which is about 8 co-workers who each have something to gain and lose and hide, who are being snowed in the French Alps. It doesn't say that people are dying, but we can assume that people die. I wonder if it's just like one person dies or like slowly they all start to die. Oh, I love finding my receipts in the book. What else did I buy when I bought this? I only bought these two when I bought this? Oh, that's interesting. I'll probably check in with you, since this one is pretty short. I'll check in with you at the beginning of chapter 10. It will be page 136. We'll see if I can have like a prime suspect by that time. And then we'll check in at the end. Then we'll get started with One by One by Ruth Ware, and I'll probably do the same, check in with you about halfway through. 172 seems about halfway through. It's where the book immediately opened up. It doesn't have chapter like numbers, so this is Liz. And then I will say it right now so that way you will know that this vlog will have spoilers for this one and spoilers for this one. I'll try not to talk about too many other like Ruth Ware spoilers or Agatha Christie spoilers so other books don't get spoiled and it's just these ones. But if anything, I might just talk about themes in other books. So enjoy, bear with me, I'll see you at the middle of this one, okay? Okay, bye. Hello, it's late, 1, 2, I don't have my glasses on, so I'm gonna keep doing this as if I have them on. Where are my glasses? We're not gonna worry about that right now. We're doing an update for this. I'm sorry if you hear my fan on. It's like 1,000,000 degrees. I'm in the California desert. Like, I'm not even gonna apologize for this. We're talking about this. So I'm halfway through chapter 10. I thought that this was a Poirot series. Part of the Poirot series had Poirot in it. It does not. It has no one in it. It doesn't have Miss Marple. It doesn't have Poirot. It has no one. It is just literally 10 strangers on an island, and they keep one by one, they just start dropping like flies. They just start dying. It's pretty good. Like, I'm not gonna lie. At first I was a little bit disappointed, but it was pretty good. So like, obviously, not obviously, but like, kind of obviously, there are like hints of racism. Some of these characters are anti-Semitic. Some of these characters are flat out racist. A lot of them are sexist. Generally, a lot of these people are not good people, mainly because all of them are on this island and all of them are being killed because whoever is killing them believes them to be responsible for murders, for deaths that have happened, that they have caused, that the law hasn't, like, can't get them for, you know? Like, one of the characters is a judge, and he passed sentence and sentenced someone to death, and the person who brought him to this island holds that judge responsible for that person's death. I mean, aside from the hints of anti-Semitism, racism, and, like, slight sexism, it's a romp. I'm having a good time. So, like, obviously, I think that whenever you have a historical piece, like, you can expect that it's going to be that way, especially having been written so long ago. It's not okay. No one is saying it's okay. I'm just saying it's there. So at this point, my guess for the murderers are, number 1, Emily Bloor. I think that either she's the murderer, or we're gonna have one of those, any of y'all see that movie, Devil, where they're all stuck in that elevator? And spoilers for that movie, but the person who ends up killing everybody was like the second or third person to die. Wait a second, is Devil a retelling of this except with like possession? Now I entirely think that, because I think that if it's not Emily Bloor, it's going to be the other guy, General MacArthur. I think that he, even though he's already dead, he's the third person to have died, I think that his death is the most easily faked out of the three that have happened so far, and I think that he did that to throw everyone off his scent. Because, like, of course, after 3 people die, they're gonna start assuming, like, somebody, it's one of them, you know? Like, his people are gonna be not caught off guard anymore. So I'm really leaning towards General MacArthur, and I'm really hoping that that is the case. Especially now, considering that I just thought of that movie Devil, and how the old lady was the one, but she died like third or something. That was great. Alright, so I'm going to finish this up, and then we'll react, and then I'll pick up one by one. Okay, bye! All right, I finished it. It was great. At the beginning of this story, in the author's note, Agatha Christie is like, it needed an epilogue so that way it could explain itself, you know? And then I finished reading the epilogue and I was like, but who did it? Who killed them? How does it make sense? And maybe I missed it. But in the moment, I was like, I have no freaking clue, dude. I loved it. I thought it was really clever. So I was right in the sense that it was one of the 10, and one of the 10 that had already died. Like, they weren't the last one standing. Well, I mean, I guess they technically were, because they faked their initial death, and then they killed themselves after the last actual victim died. So that way all of them would be dead. So I was right that it was one of them. I was not right in the person that I picked. I was shooketh, actually. And honestly, if I just, like, thought about this poem a little bit more, I felt like it could have been, like, very obvious, right? Because if you read the poem, it says, 5 little soldier boys going in for law. 1 got in chancery, and then there were 4. That stage, the one that had died, is the judge. And right after that, it says 4 little soldier boys going out to sea. A red herring swallowed 1, and then there were 3. And at that point, the judge pushes somebody else off the cliff into the water to drown. And so if I was just a little bit more smart, I think that that is something that you could have easily put together. I didn't put it together, but I think I could have. So this was great. I loved this. I don't know what I'm going to give it yet. But I really enjoyed it, actually. I thought that the character work leaves a lot to be desired because I couldn't tell them apart. Like, I don't need them to go, like, super in detail and in depth with a lot of these things because, like, it's a mystery. I don't need that. I need that in my fantasy. I need that in my sci-fi, like, world building type of things. But in this, I don't really need, like, a whole spiel and backstory, and I mean, I don't. But what I do think is that Ruth Ware is going to do a lot more to define each individual character, at least to the point that I'm not getting them confused with, like, what each person does. And then, like, it also doesn't help that they'll refer to them either last names and first names. And so I get confused. So, like, I'm hoping that with this I will be less confused. Topher St. Clair Bridges. Who's the daddy? Well, if anyone's got a claim, it's Toph, Snoop co-founder, along with ex-girlfriend, model, artist, professional badass at Evolution. It all started here. If he's not at his desk, he's probably writing The Moguls and Kamenex, losing his mind in Berlin's Berghain, or just hanging. Kick rocks. I hate that. So, at least we get a list of, like, people at the beginning of the book, which is kind of helpful for me to discern, like, who everyone is. Okay, so I will be checking in with you at page 182, and I will hopefully tell you who I think done it. And hopefully I actually get this one right, because I will have some basis for what to be looking for. Because at the end of this, the document that's found at the very end, he, like, writes his manifesto to be, like, set off to sea, and hopefully, like, because he's like, I need recognition for what I did. So he tells you exactly what he did and why he was doing it. He was going to die. Is there going to be a 10 little soldier boy rhyme? It doesn't look like it does. Oh, okay, and this Snoop app, it's Snoop. It looks like what it does is, or it lets you, like, sneak in and find out what people are listening to, which I guess is pretty cool because, I mean, I think that would be a fun, like, social media platform. Okay, I'll see you on 182 pages. Bye! Good morning. It's Saturday? Sunday. It's Sunday. We're very excited about it. But I am halfway through this, I was gonna say lovely book, but it's not like it's not lovely. It's just, I don't care. Like, typically in Ruth Ware books, I care. You made me care.
I care now. You made me care more.
I think this is the only Ruth Ware where she has two perspectives. Am I correct in that? In every single Ruth Ware that has come out before this one, they were all one perspective. And in that one perspective, I cared about everybody, except for the Lion Game. The Lion Game is an exception. But in all of my other Ruth Ware experiences, I've really enjoyed the character. And, like, I either related to them, or I felt, bad for their trauma, or I really empathized. Something about their story clicked for me and made me care. Like, I can't even describe it any more than just like how much I care. And with this, we have two different perspectives. I don't care about anyone, really. One woman, her name is Liz, and she used to work for Snoop. Her name is Liz Owens. And so when you take into account "and then there were none," where the anonymous UN Owen, unknown, and then we have Liz, who is Liz Owen. Like, I'm not sure what the story is getting at, but Liz is quite literally always on the verge of a panic attack. And I just can't. Like, there are very small hints at why she might have been this, why she is this way, what made her be this way. But I can't care about it because, like, she's giving me a panic attack, and I hate it. I hate it so much. And then there is Erin, who works at the ski chalet, and, like, who is she?
I don't know.
Die kenne ich nicht.
I feel like this book is too long for me to not know a lot about or care about any of these characters. And that's also the thing, right? Like, it's long. Like, not long, but it's like 370 pages, 380 pages, and it's like, why? And then there were none was like 200 maybe. And this is giving about the same amount of detail for each character. And I don't know. So far at the halfway point, 2 people have died. Part of me really wants it to be Liz, because then it'll give, like, reason for me having to read about 150 pages of this anxious, panic attack-ridden human being that has no other personality other than that. Like, I've read characters who have anxiety and panic attacks and all of that, but they had, like, a personality aside from that. They had things about them other than the fact that they have anxiety and panic attacks. And it's so disingenuous to write that kind of character that way. I don't think I care about any of it yet, which sucks because I love Ruth Ware. And a lot of my love for, like, mystery and thriller and horror kind of, well, not horror, but, like, mystery and thriller came from reading Ruth Ware's. And the last 2, this one included, and Lion Game, have been disappointments completely. And hopefully this doesn't end that way, but, like, really, 82 pages in, and I don't care? This versus something like The Death of Mrs. Westaway, which was crazy, or In a Dark, Dark Wood, which was even crazier and much more thrilling, and, like, and then to get this? So, I know I called it a little bit when I thought that Liz Owens was the murderer, just like Unknown was the murderer in this one. But like it did the thing. I was so disappointed. This was disappointing, which is really, it makes me so nervous, you guys, because I didn't like this one or The Lying Game, and the one that's coming out, It Girl, kind of feels like The Lying Game, but maybe redone. But after this being the most recent one that was published besides The It Girl, it makes me nervous. And then it also, with The Lying Game being bad, I don't really want to read It Girl. Like, I'm so nervous, you guys. This one was also very boring. No one died forever. It was so long until somebody died. And then in this one, literally everyone dies. In this one, literally 3 people die. 3 out of 10. And you know what? That is not enough for your book to be called One by One. One by one, they what? Only 3 of them died. It should have been called like The 3 Murders, or like The 3 Blind Mice, or The 3 Blind Murderers. 3 Blind Murders. It was such a poor retelling, I think, because this one was so much about getting justice in a way that you can't necessarily get in like the common judicial system. And this was petty and dumb, and I kind of hated it. It wasn't the best. And like, above all, I'm disappointed. So 3 stars for this one. The retelling aspect was bad, and I don't know if I recommend it above Ruth Ware's other works. So take what you will from this reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!